Just a man on a mission, ambition to never fail. Personality electric, he is animated male. Intelligent and wise, calm and often cool. Chris James giving opinions while also speaking the truth. Empathy and compassion. Stephen Michael is here, helping you through your traumas, helping you with your fears. These three forces combine and keep it honest. Turn up the volume, cause this is the application of knowledge.
But welcome to the Application Knowledge Podcast.
So aggressive.
Is that aggressive? Yeah, I mean, just let me do my intro. Appreciate y'all rocking out with us. I am Animated Male. We have Chris James in the building, Stephen Michael. And we are the Application of Knowledge. And we are on episode 136. 136 of the Application of Knowledge. And last episode, there was an election that occurred. And since then, it's the results came in and we win, baby.
And the result is...
And still, it was all the above. But Trump won. He's now the president, and now you hear...
President-elect.
President-elect.
That has to be stated because he's not president yet.
Right.
And that means something.
But when he did get elected, a lot of things started shifting in the world.
Oh, nigga. Did they ever?
I told him every country got in line. Like, yo, man, we respect y'all. We trying to do some deals. What y'all trying to do? As soon as Trump got in, they was like, yo, what's good? What we doing?
China stopped building factories. Like...
just the fact that he won the election and then immediately... things started changing.
I mean, day one.
Immediately, just the victory, not by it, even before he did anything, because he's definitely been doing things as elect.
Oh yeah.
But people around the world started making changes simply because he won. And I think that the best way to describe it is something that I heard. It was just like somebody said, it's like the world recognized Daddy was home. Like Daddy's out, the kids are running around, Mommy's trying to control everything, and the kids aren't listening. Then Daddy comes home, and he looks around, and he's like, what have y'all been doing? And then now, all of a sudden, the kids start getting in line. I mean, that's the life, that we lived. So, to me, it hit hard.
Do y'all think that the margin of victory would have been what it is, because he had a landslide?
Was that the biggest victory of
they say in it's been years since it's been this lopsided.
Okay.
It's been
in our time, in our lifetime.
Yeah, that it's been this lopsided. She didn't even stand a chance.
And the thing that's crazy about it is it looks super lopsided. Now, of course, we're just going off the electoral votes, right, when we talk about that. But it's because he won by small margins in all the states. But that was because he was winning in those swing states by those small margins. Yeah. So that's still impressive, because people try to snub it and be like, well, it actually was a close race. No, I mean, they're swing states. So that's what they do. They go back and forth. Mm-hmm. They could go either way. So the fact that he won all them swing states...
the funny thing is that she won every state that you didn't need to have an ID to vote.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's crazy.
When I heard that,
that's crazy.
I was just like, this, their agenda is in clear view. Mm-hmm. You can see exactly what they're working to do and why they fight so hard for it, because their what's it called it? Their rebuttal or their reasoning for no voter ID is saying, oh, it's voter suppression, or saying, no, it's racist to ask for voter ID. And I was listening to Meet Kevin, and he was like, well, in California, one of the reasons that they were able to push it through is because they said that they have such a high homeless population, or just a poor population, that these people can't afford IDs. And when he was running for governor, he was like, yeah, and maybe that's true. He said, so we just give it to them for free. Plain and simple. It's just an ID. There's no reason to make this as a huge deal. You can go and you can get a free ID and you can vote. We just lower the barrier to entry. And
That actually makes sense. Like, give them free IDs or whatever, and then have them do it instead of just going up there willy-nilly, because that will eliminate people who aren't residents of the country.
Correct. But that's not what they want.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the agenda's clear, and I think it's very telling. Now, I mean, obviously, you could say that she won those states because they cheated in those states, but it also just could simply be. I mean, we knew she was going to win California. Why? It's a blue state. I know it's getting close to red, right?
Go ahead.
But we did assume Cali was going her way,
Of course,
right? I mean, you got San Francisco, you got all these areas where it's very dense liberal people, and so you could just imagine the other states are of a similar ilk, and that's why they just happen
the states that are heavily Democratic, the California and New York and New Jersey, though the places where Hollywood or mainstream media has its heavy influence, all of those areas were dominant with the liberal thing, but everything else was red.
Mostly populated urban
the most densely
areas.
If they didn't have New York and Cali, they would never win.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
I thought it was ironic that Cincinnati and where we currently are located, they were both liberal states or cities or so. I was just like, bruh.
Well, not technically our county. Well, not us technically.
Yeah, but if you look at the
Dallas
map,
County was blue.
all of
Dallas
it is
was blue.
Houston was blue.
Yeah.
Houston was blue. That makes sense. What about Austin? Austin
was blue.
Okay, that makes sense.
Austin was blue.
What saved us is all the rest of Texas.
Yeah,
It is.
everything else.
It is. When you call them blue states, I think that we actually kind of need to start rolling that back, because I've never seen a map where they broke down the counties. It's always states. But when you look at the county, because we say California, it's a blue state, but when you look at it, like, it's not blue. It's really red. The only thing that's blue about it is LA. You know, like, there's certain parts of Sacramento, there's certain parts that are blue, and they're so densely populated.
Yeah.
They change the color of the entire state.
Okay.
Like, so I'm not saying they need to change how elections are run, but if you actually started adding up like things based upon counties or something instead, I mean, you talk about a blowout.
Well, he won the popular vote too.
Right.
I mean, that's insane, bro. He blew her out and he won the popular vote?
Yeah.
I mean, that also speaks to the policies, though. Like, how many people were on board with all the education, the miseducation, or the surgeries for children and things of that nature? A lot of those things will swing the people who typically will vote liberal or Democrat, because her main thing was pushing that abortion. Like, if you look at what she was pushing, it was abortion and the rights of,
that's basically
women to have abortion.
I mean, that's basically it.
That's literally it. And you're pushing death. When you look at it on a grander scale, that's all you're doing is pushing death. And so, or having these LGBT parties with children involved. Most sensible humans can see this and be like, y'all are wilding. Like, this is beyond the scope. This is why people like Tulsi Gabbard and RFK,
Tulsi Gabbard.
they switched to a different party. This is the reason why they came to the Republican side, because they wilding over there. Like, why you touching kids, or why you are okay with children making decisions and you're hiding this from their parents? Like,
that's wild.
There's nothing okay with that. And so if I was in those cities, in those states, and politics was super important to me, and I heard that they're doing this to children in school, you damn skippy, I'd be switching over to the Republican side, because they're at least sensible, and they have the goal to be like, yo, this ain't cool. I don't want my family to be snipped behind my back.
Right.
There's no sense.
You wouldn't let a child that was 16 get a tattoo. Right. Even in school, you wouldn't let them do it in school, but then yet you affirm that maybe that their gender is incorrect, and you start to plant these seeds into impressionable children, where children already pretend they live in an imaginary world already anyway.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a lot of children that are like, oh, well, I want to be a girl. Right. Because maybe in their life, they see their sister being treated better. Maybe they see that the grandparents and stuff, they're the older one, they're the first granddaughter. Maybe they see that she's being treated differently, and they're like, "Oh, I want to be a girl."
Yeah.
Right? And they're doing things for a specific reason.
Yeah.
And then if you affirm them, then now you're giving them puberty blockers, and now you're letting them dress as a girl. And bro, it's insane. And the media is absolutely evil because they are the ones that made people feel like most of the country feels this way because they were controlling, of course, the media, which all are major outlets, but then also controlling the social media networks, which is why X was so important.
Yeah.
Because now you can get pushback.
Facebook too. I mean,
Facebook. Well, I was saying X because
election.
no.
Facebook.
But I was saying X as in how it has recently been acquired, and now you can kind of get pushback,
right,
without saying it and getting canceled,
right?
Because like you silenced people because if you said this is BS, yada yada yada, what, you're gonna get your account restricted? You're gonna get flagged for misinformation. You're gonna get like. So what do? You just don't talk about it. I'm not allowed to talk about this because I don't want my account to get flagged. I don't want to stop being able to message my friends or just scroll my feed just because I decide to use common sense. Mm-hmm. What parent, I mean, not even parent, but what adult thinks that it is okay to give a child 8, 9, 10 years old, whatever, puberty blockers?
Well, I mean, what percentage of people are actually doing this? Now, I know that there's a lot of statistics, and of course they're playing with these statistics. Right. They're playing with them heavy, but what percentage of children under the age of 18 are actually getting these surgeries and these puberty blockers? And I'm sure it's a very small amount.
I wouldn't say it's as high as they like to talk about.
Exactly. And so this goes back to...
We're talking probably less than 0.5%.
Yeah, I mean, yes, for sure. And so what this does is go back to what you were saying, Steve, as far as the legacy media and what they were perpetrating. They're trying to perpetuate an idea that this is affecting a large amount of people, mm-hmm. and the reality is it's not. And I think what happened is they got high off their own supply. It was mm-hmm. like the legacy, they do such a good job of propaganda that they started to believe it themselves, and they forgot that we aren't really out here doing this. Like, trying to turn a little boy into a little girl is so far off the spectrum for most people. Even if Taylor Swift, it doesn't matter who's promoting it. It's so far off the reservation. All you could do is build up this fake hype around mm-hmm. it. And then you get high off that. You're like, yeah, there's a lot of people doing it. We can make this an issue. And it's like, no one actually cares about this. Mm-hmm. Now, what was interesting is Trump, he put out an ad. His most impactful ad was the one where he has Kamala talk about how she's going to give these surgeries to the prisoners, or was mm-hmm. it prisoners? Or? Yeah,
but illegal
prisoners. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of people that were like, "Wait, what?" You know? Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, because you guys don't listen to her. This is who you're voting for, right? And so when people heard that, they was just like, no, I'm good on that. Mm-hmm. Why? Because number one, you think it's a priority to allocate funds to that. Mm-hmm. Even if it's a small amount of funds, it's like, where's your mind where you think that that's a priority? Why is that even being talked? Why is that being talked about?
Like, there's so much more impactful things happening in the world. Why is this particular point being even mentioned? You know, you have the economy damn near collapsing, people struggling to pay bills, and you like, yo, I'm trying to change the sex of these prisoners right here. Like, what?
But we won't give them. But we won't do a dental extraction, or right, like, because most dental work is considered cosmetic. So we won't do that. But we'll give them gender reaffirming care. Like, bro, what? That's what it's called, but that's not what it actually is. It's just it's completely asinine, and looking at that county's map of the United States. It made me feel vindicated.
It made me feel completely like it made me think like, I'm so glad that I am not the only sane human on this planet. Like, I was like, okay, the voices of the minority are much louder online than they are in reality.
Yeah.
Because if we want to believe that the votes are actually taking place and they are legit, the results are literally speaking on behalf of what the people actually want in this country.
Too big to rig is what they said.
Too big.
So with I haven't seen this map. So with this map,
The county's map?
yeah, I haven't seen it.
I get it.
Mel sent it to our group chat, I think.
I mean,
Really? Oh, yeah.
I've been
You're going to be
very,
like, bro.
very busy. But
This is like,
the
okay. It's like 2 weeks ago. Have you not seen this?
Steven,
Yeah, I did. It's right there.
that's insane. And I bet you if we looked at these maps more often, you would actually see what's going on.
Like it's
I've
this
never
is
seen
literally
that.
a red
That's
wave.
it's literally it's a
I mean, the
red
whole
wave.
thing is red.
It's a
It
red
looks,
wave.
You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those the cell phone mapping
Coverage map.
Yeah.
Coverage map. So
Yep.
it's like Verizon is saying, "Oh, we're here," and there's only a couple little spots where it's like, don't really get the greatest service here.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took it over, man.
Yeah.
So in response to Donald Trump winning, there was like outrage from the left. And of course you get rage from the left media, but now they're doing this movement. It's like a B4 movement or
4B.
something.
4B, yeah.
4B.
I'm glad you brought it up.
Where they are shaving their head in protest. They're saying they're not going to have sex with men. You know, they're shaving their head in protest.
Unbeautifying themselves.
Yeah, and what they're doing is literally what we've asked them in the beginning. They're literally making themselves not going to have sex, which means that they won't need an abortion.
Yeah.
Okay. They're like these people are so just like, y'all, they have to be doing this on purpose to frustrate. They have to.
Bro, they
because
are
there's no
crazy.
way that we're gonna be unsexy, so y'all can't get us pregnant.
So the 4B movement is no sex with men, no dating men, no marrying men, and no having children with men. That is the 4B movement. I guess
Why is it? Where's the B? I see the 4.
It started in I think Korea.
Korea.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the B stands for.
Okay.
Well, I'll check it out.
Yeah, take a look. But it started in Korea where they actually
Had an impact.
Well, yeah, because there was an oppression.
Right.
Because in those areas, because Americans, we forget that the world is not like we are.
Right.
They were actually being oppressed, and became a movement and became widespread because there was an actual problem.
Right.
This is not going to catch on.
No.
And at the end of the day, most men are going to be like, okay, good, go for it.
Yeah.
Like we. What Mel would you say? He said them conservative women, them Trump women's looking real good.
Looking real tasty.
They're looking real tasty.
But the 4B or 4 No's, it's a radical feminist movement that emerged in South Korea during the mid to late 2010s. On Twitter and on a website, WOMAD, it refers to its defining 4 tenets, which all start with a Korean language term B.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Roughly no components of do not date, get married, have sex, or have children with men.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so they can have sex with women, make it marry
Yeah, that's
women?
that's how the way you were saying it, that's what I was.
That's what it is.
You could still it's very you know what? That's cultural appropriation. They're culturally like y'all don't have their struggle.
Is it?
Man, it feels like it to me. It feels like cultural appropriation. What do you mean? You're
It's not
taking
their culture. It's a movement.
It's taking
it's
a movement from another culture.
a stretch.
It's a move. Okay, let's
seen.
let's put it like this: the culture there created the movement.
Okay.
So and so you're trying to adopt that. I mean, I don't know. Like if I'm a Korean woman who actually went through this, I maybe I'm a little offended.
It wasn't from what I've seen. I haven't had Korean women because I would assume that they would feel empowered because there's other women. Misery loves company. But who was impacted were cancer survivors.
Yeah.
So female cancer survivors were upset because obviously they're losing their hair and they're being forced. They have to wear wigs and they have all this stuff. And part of the movement was unbeautify yourself.
Right.
So doing things to make yourself less attractive, and then you have these women that are losing their hair because of cancer, and they're like, "So you're saying that we're unattractive?" Like y'all just can't win.
You know what? They could do that lesbian buzz cut thing.
Jesus.
All the lesbian girls do. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That really ugly liberal, the stud, like not the stud. Yeah, it's kind of like the stud, the guy.
G.I. Jane
girl.
look?
No, G.I. Jane had her shade.
With everything though, with everything how even it is right now, because it's gonna be some time before things really our culture starts to turn back to the right, even just towards the middle. Let me say that towards the middle, being accepting and saying everything is beautiful, everything is okay, is still 100% the norm. So even if you said we're gonna dye our hair red to unbeautify ourselves, so what? Women who have red hair dye is unbeautiful, right? You can no matter what they do.
Not and they're going to be buzz cut thing that they do.
So what? Then the lesbians are going to be like
Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
That's like
Ellen.
What about? Okay, so then you have people like Ellen that'll be like, "Well, I like my hair like this." What are you trying to say? This is not attractive.
So there's nothing that they would have to. They would just have to do something completely original that doesn't offend any other.
Right, which is almost impossible.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Just create a
they're so inclusive. They can't do. Everything that they do is can't hurt anybody's feelings. It's just like, dude, y'all are so messed up.
And sometimes,
this is ugly. I would agree to say that.
Yeah, I mean
that's ugly.
I don't like the short. I
just don't think she's an attractive human.
No, the hairstyle.
If it's done, Halle Berry had her hair like that.
I didn't like it on Halle either.
Okay.
I mean that's okay. Maybe that's
not
what
I was. That's not what I was thinking that you were talking about.
What did you think I was?
I thought you were talking about really the buzz
cut.
Yeah,
I don't know what this is. So you like this?
I didn't say I like it.
You think it's a healthy, attractive? I don't know.
I think for Ellen it works.
What?
I mean, there's women that
Ellen looked way better. Hold on.
I don't really like. Well, some women they can pull it off with. Oh, she looks better with it.
Yes,
way better.
Yes. Okay, you guys literally just proved my point.
I'm not saying
it's an ugly cut.
Well, I personally like women with.
It literally makes her look worse. That's the whole point.
Maybe she's just.
No, the point is it makes it look worse. It's not about whether a fine girl can pull it off. Yeah, Amber Rose and all them, they can pull it off. That's not what we're saying.
Okay, I understand. I agree.
Or they can get like a mullet.
Bro.
No, there's girls that wear mullets already.
Or they could do the Jerome.
Well, here's y'all
remember the Martin episode where he came back, he had a half fro, and then he had like half braids. It was like one of the first episodes, I think season 3 or season 4 of Martin.
And then that way they can keep their hair.
Yeah, they can look crazy and all that.
No, the point of me saying this, it's not just about the ugly hairstyle. It's also about the fact that we already look at women like this and assume that they're gay.
Yeah.
So it works in their favor because it's like, okay, guys aren't going to approach you. I mean, it'd be less.
It's a billboard. If I have this hairstyle, just know I support the 4B movement.
Yeah.
Don't hit on me. Don't look at me. If I'm getting robbed and someone's stealing my purse, let them. Let me know.
It's the same thing with any type of even like if a woman if she was to dress like super promiscuous, you already have an you have an expectation of how she's going to get approached, how women or men are going to treat them. It's going to be a certain way. It's my bad. It's the same thing with if someone is trying to gain weight and they look scrawny and they go to the gym and they trying to get big, they'll attract a certain amount of people. They see that effort. They see you go, but you're basically going to attract what you put out there. Dave Chappelle had that perfect that line in a comedy sketch. He's like, women, if you don't want, it's like dressing up as a cop and then seeing you get robbed, and then you'd be like, officer, help me. You'd be like, I ain't no cop. I'm just dressing like this. It's the exact same scenario. So if you're gonna dress unattractive, but how many people you just got off social media, so
Steven?
Yeah, well, at least for the Facebook and
Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm TikTok. Yeah, I'm just off them right now.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, how many people did you all see that were in support of this little movement?
I haven't seen. So I'm still logged into Messenger because I guess you have to log out of it directly. I don't even know how.
It's an app.
I have the app, but I don't. But if I click, Messenger is okay because I actually still communicate with some of my friends for Messenger. I'm okay with. It also allows me to still connect with people that are reaching out for like work, business related stuff. I haven't seen anybody because I can still see their stories.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything where anyone supported this. I haven't nothing. I've only seen it on YouTube just for people reacting to, people mostly, I guess, on TikTok. For the most part.
TikTok is the only place I've seen it. So I've seen clips, people string together clips.
Yeah, they screaming, wilding out.
You haven't seen anything on Instagram? Like nothing,
No.
like from your own people?
Nobody.
From your own people?
No, you have a lot of left-leaning people.
It made me realize how a lot of people in Cincinnati, they're
That's why I was blue.
Yes. It made me realize how manipulated and controlled these areas still are. Even a lot of people that's in the Smash community, which is Super Smash Brothers, or like the gaming world. A lot of these people, they give in, like they are sending, like they'll post something like, "This is the worst day ever, man. My life is over. I can't believe y'all let a convicted felon."
That's crazy.
I'm just like, man, you guys are all so many puppets. So many puppets. Even when the evidence is clearly in front of them, they just fall for whatever the mainstream media tells them. They don't listen to anything that's outside of that entire wheelhouse. So I'm just like, hey, man, if y'all want to stay, do it.
Along that same vein, it's a little bit off, but it's along the same vein. I just saw yesterday, AOC.
Yeah.
She removed her out of her ex bio. So her pronouns, she removed them. And because now they're walking these things back. People see they now see how crazy they look, and it is going to soon become more okay to actually speak against this craziness that's out here and not get canceled and not have your social medias destroyed. And they're starting to walk this stuff back. And she was a very big proponent of the left and, pronouns and gender and all this stuff. And once again, all of this is before Trump has even taken office.
Yeah. I just had a communication with a girl that I guess I'm just assuming. Okay. I don't know for a fact. I ain't dug into it. We don't talk enough to even, but she told me she got arrested twice in protest. I'm just assuming she's in protest. It was something about the Kamala thing. I don't know, but it seemed like it was just the timing of what she's saying. She's like, I'm taking a break for all this, da 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 da. And I'm like, well, the election was just over. So it's just the timing. So I'm just assuming, but she's extremely liberal, probably the most liberal person that I know.
Wow.
And apparently she's been protesting, getting arrested, and was fighting her heart out to get Kamala in the presidency. And that's the only person I know that's like that. But it's, I think, once again, a lot of these people, they don't actually know what they're fighting for. Mm-hmm. Meaning they know what they're fighting for, right? The talking points and whatever the propaganda, but they don't know the details. They don't know, like, what are you actually fighting for?
Right.
You know what I mean? So like if they win, what's actually, not what you think is going to happen, what's actually going to happen?
It's like reading a title of a book and saying, "Oh, this is a good book."
Right.
But you didn't actually read the book.
Right.
And then you realize that the title is literally just a what's it called when you
a
put
bait and switch?
Yeah, a bait and switch, or what's it called when you make a YouTube title video and it's actually something completely clickbait. Right? That's what it is. It's clickbait.
Right.
Because because Kamala was talking about for example, the border security bill. Right, that was never going to get passed. She was like, as soon as it comes across my desk, you have like 6 Democrats that voted against it, right? And they're almost 50-50, so you need all Democrats and you need a couple different Republicans. That you had your own people vote against it, right? The Roe v. Wade, talking about restoring Roe v. Wade, you can't restore that.
Right.
That was originally a case that was placed. It's not even a law. It was something it was a ruling that was made by the Supreme Court. It was never a law. It basically said, "Oh no, it's unconstitutional." Well, now they took that away. You'd have to create a whole nother bill,
Right?
And then you'd have to get that bill past the Democrats, right? Which you could probably do, But then also you'd have to probably get 5 or 6 Republicans. Now that's at that time. Now this is all completely changed.
Right.
But even if let's just pretend, go into a dream world, and let's just say Kamala did win, but everything else stayed the same, right? So let's just say Donald Trump won the popular vote, Kamala won the Electoral College, and but they lost the House. And I'm sorry, they didn't get the House because the Republicans already had the House, and they lost the Senate.
It's a wrap.
She's not getting any of that
Not
through.
getting anything.
So even if she ended up winning, she's still not going to get any of that through.
And then let's be honest. They've been in office for 4 years. And this is the part that I cannot understand. The logic just goes right out the window. If this was such an important issue, why didn't you already do it? Why didn't you ever already put the bill together?
Because it got removed under Biden. It wasn't even under Trump. I think all the things were already turning.
Sure, that's
right?
fine.
Because they said the justices were appointed by Trump. Yeah. So it
That's
was already,
fine.
but he couldn't stop it.
So if you didn't have the power to stop it then, or if you didn't have the inclination to fix the problem, y'all had 4 years. Mm-hmm. If you were gonna do it, you would have did it in the first 4 years. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
I think now we're about to move into a different stage now that Trump has been elected. And we'll see what happens from this point on up until when he actually gets inaugurated.
I mean, he's already working.
Or so, but he's already putting in work and doing this thing. But did y'all hear about the new talking points that the world's speaking about, which is like aliens now? They had like a 2-hour briefing about aliens and how they're among us and things of that nature.
I did not see this.
Yeah, there's so much.
I mean, they've been talking about aliens for a couple years now.
They started. Maybe it was a year or two ago. They started to put stuff out, like almost releasing things, like breadcrumbs. You know,
not even breadcrumbs. Like it was pretty.
I'm talking about breadcrumbs. When you talk, not
they like admitted it. They like admitted it.
But there was no real. It never picked up in mainstream media.
Well, here is a video that I can show you all. It says it's a leaked government clip of 3 UFOs making Malaysia flight A370 disappear entirely.
Oh, the one that disappeared?
So now they're saying, okay, that's a conspiracy theory.
Possibly, but just check it out. Let's see.
The aliens made it disappear.
Malaysian Airlines, and watch as the 3 UFOs that in perfect triangular formation come right around MH370 and zoom right here. Here, there's the second.
Where'd that one go? Okay.
And here the third UFO comes in, and then you'll watch as then, of course, using this etheric energy, the 0-point technologies, make the craft disappear. And so the United States government is responsible for this. Watch as
Who's recording this?
Disappears.
Satellite.
Right here, I believe. Right after this cloud. Watch. Here we go. This is an unbelievable video, and it's been confirmed. This is 10-year-old video, by the way.
Wow.
There we go. Disappears, and that aircraft, of course, gone. This is.
You see, in this house, we believe.
That's insane.
And Twitter typically
This is government leaked footage.
that's what it says.
That's what it says, and it's been confirmed.
It's
10
well
years
because
ago.
Twitter typically has this thing is like community notes that people say if it's legit or not.
Mm-hmm.
And this one says there are no sources to support this claim. It just gives you context, and typically they'll have like this is false, this is blah blah blah, this is what actually.
So there's no
happened.
fact check, but there's also nothing saying there's no sources that support it.
Yeah, or that is
Well,
not.
if it's leaked, why would it be supported? It's not supposed to be out. Right?
Well, but because things could be altered.
Okay.
So I guess you have to take this at face value and then just do your own research. But if you go on YouTube and you look up,
Has Candace got a wind of this yet?
she's
can't
focused
see
on
anything.
Kamala at the moment.
She's still focused on Kamala?
Well, she was, but now she's more focused on a lot of things that's happening, like the libs.
Okay, all the outrage. She's still riding that wave.
Yeah.
She gonna ride that wave for
She was like, she was like, I know everybody out there saying that we should handle them with grace, and Russell Brand was saying they need to handle themselves, and she just was like,
Nah.
you know what, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And I literally would just start crying because I'm like, that is so Candace.
Well, it's legitimate, right? You're Russell Brand's handle him soft. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Niggas is always being soft and being coddling when they need a reality check. Like, no, you're stupid for thinking about or believing this stuff is real. No, don't give them no grace. Go even harder. I rock with Candace for that.
Candace is always going to keep it a buck.
Yeah.
We honestly, dude, we just what are they saying? We just need to get back to common sense politics. Just common sense, right? Like, that's it. Nobody there's so many things these last 4 years that the world really hasn't cared about. If they passed laws that allowed people to get gender surgeries or whatever, like for adults, I would care absolutely less. I still care. I don't care at all. Do whatever it is y'all want to do. But you cannot make a change and then expect me to just affirm that change and go along with the nonsense. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Like,
it really is ridiculous. There's so much nonsense going on in the world. But when you think about the aliens and how they are being shown and more visible on like social media sites, where do you think this is going to take us? Do you think that it'll be a commonality to walk down the street to be like, yo, what up, what's good, alien?
You're talking about like Men in Black?
Yeah,
I
that
think
type of
they're
vibe.
breadcrumbs.
Or do you think they're already among us?
I
Like,
think
what's that video game, Among Us?
I think that they are breadcrumbs. And you can't, if you talk about aliens, and let's say they are real, because I don't believe
You
that.
said, let's say.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Let's just say
Okay.
they are real. If you've been
You don't
lying,
think aliens are real?
I'm just using a hypothetical. I don't think that aliens are what we think they are.
Yeah.
Whatever aliens are, they are, and they exist. There's no question about that.
Right.
Okay.
Go ahead with your hypothetical.
So, for the last, 50, 60 years or more, we have been told that they're not real, they don't exist, yada, yada, yada. And if you were to now just all of a sudden say, yep, sorry, we lied, yada, 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 then how are they going to then lie to us again and us to believe them? So I think that they understand that you can't just flat out be like, yeah, right? But when they started having public hearings and public conversations in Congress and the Senate and all this stuff about aliens, and they started talking about things and it became public, and then now you have these little videos. They're breadcrumbs. They're bite-sized pieces that people can start hearing. And like we did you hear about the alien video? And it's not like, aliens, that's fake. It's just like, oh, I did hear something about that. I saw something about it on TikTok. Like, it's just over time you start to warm up to the idea of it, so then they can provide more and more and more, and then it comes to the point where it's just natural. Or now it's like, oh, what? Right? There's going to be some sort of event or something.
Maybe.
Well, I'm not saying an event like an alien attack or something. I'm just saying like, but we are.
Wait. If aliens have always existed, which I think that they go hand in hand, right, with many other creatures and things in the world, or in our Earth. Then if they already walked among us at some point, then why did we ever stop? Why did they disappear? Why did they go? Why do we have to be reintroduced to them in the first place?
Well, because history's been washed.
So you think that they washed the history, they got rid of the aliens. You know what? Maybe the reason why is because at some point we figured out who they actually were. Because if they're trying to bring the aliens back now, and I don't know, let's just say that they're bringing them back like they're some type of higher life form. Let's just say that. If in the past they were looked at as gods, and then the humans were like, we're kind of figuring out this, you ain't gods, right? So then they whitewash it all and kind of start all the way over, and now you could bring them back as like gods or godlike figures again. That would make sense, because otherwise I'm like, why are you reintroducing us? Like,
that makes sense.
The Bible talks about these creatures, we've been like ancient history talks about, like, we've already been introduced to them before, and now you're reintroducing again.
That makes sense. If you it's almost like taking it, like if your tolerance gets too high for a substance, and then you take a break from it, and then you come back to it, and you take that first shot,
be hitting a lot harder,
and you're just like, dang, I forgot that hit. I forgot what that was like. You know what I'm saying? So maybe similar thing, right? And that could be it. And maybe it took 200 years or whatever amount of time for something like that to happen.
Do you think that it's more truthful or more realistic for aliens to be underwater instead of coming from outer space?
I think if anything, they would be underwater.
Yeah.
It
Because it's the only place that we knowingly know that humans can go and explore. And recently there are.
You said can go?
Yeah.
I mean, we can barely go into the water.
Yeah,
but we can get in the water.
I mean, yeah, but when
we probably can't go as deep as like an actual animal that's meant to be down
when we're
there.
talking about the oceans of our world, I forget the statistic, I forget the number, but it's like, I think it's 20%.
That we've actually explored.
Yes.
No, it's like 5%.
Is it this low? It's lower?
Yeah, it's like 5%.
I mean, it is so small.
Actually, what are we talking about? How much water is there? How can you even give a percentage? You don't even know what's there.
They're just calculations.
It's all just made up.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going, okay, I agree with that. But if we are going under that assumption, we based upon their estimation, there's only a very small amount. Or we could be being lied to, and they have explored it, and they know that Earth is not what it's supposed to be. And let's say,
it says only around 5%.
okay, all right, good. So let's say that we've only.
That's crazy.
Let's say that we've actually explored 100% of it, and we're just being lied to.
Yeah.
And let's say that the whole flat Earth movement or propaganda, whatever you want to call it, right, has been created to throw people off the scent of the truth, right? So let's say, what if the world was round? And let's say that the Earth is not a molten core and you can't just, whatever, right? And their water only goes actually nowhere near as deep as we think it does. But inside, it's a whole nother world. But if you tell people, oh yeah, it's so hot you can't drill through it and da-da-da, well, they won't try. I don't know, I'm just thinking.
Steve, that whole monologue was so crazy. Like the world was round?
It was crazy to even.
And what if it's like, bro, no, world's not round. The
Just
earth,
give us
the waters, I mean, bro, the deepest that is recorded that we can go down into the earth is like about 7-8 miles. That's into the earth, that's into the water, and that's, I believe, above us as well. I think it's around that same amount, 8 miles or whatever it is. We are contained. We
ain't getting out.
What if the same thing that's up there is down there?
What if going up takes you down? Is what you're saying? Like Mario?
I mean, in a sense.
I mean, that's pretty messed up then. That would I'm not gonna lie, that would freak me out a little bit.
We're a science experiment.
That's like Black Mirror.
And it's like the Truman Show.
I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know.
We don't. And
we don't know.
If that was the truth, I would actually probably rather not know.
I mean, I don't think there'll come a point in time that we know while we're living. I think once we pass from this realm, we'll understand.
I don't think that in our world of living, I don't think that we'll ever know.
Because I would want to know.
You would?
Yeah.
If it's a Mario screen, you go from one end and you come out the other end.
Like, oh shit! Yeah, or something along those lines. Like, I think that would be interesting to know. Like if I had a wish.
I'll say this: I think I wouldn't want to know because it's boring. There's nothing more to explore. This is the end. You go up and you come from the bottom now, and it's like, wait, there's nothing. It takes away.
I think we like history. We like learning. I think that.
But we're also not the only humans who've had this thought. So, because
So let me ask you a question. When Trump was talking to Joe Rogan, and Rogan was trying to Rogan.
Trump was dancing.
Do you think? Okay,
Trump was easily dancing.
So because Trump was like, he didn't seem shook when he was answering. It was almost like
he has the gift of gab.
What are y'all talking about?
Did you see the podcast?
Yes. Tell me a subject.
He was talking about aliens. How does Mel know what I'm talking about, but you're not?
I don't remember they're talking about aliens.
He was talking about like aliens, and Joe was asking him like, so do you think aliens exist? And Trump
I don't
started
remember his
talking.
answer. I remember him asking that.
He started talking about pilots, and he started talking about planes, and he was saying that there have been pilots that have said stuff. So I feel like he was being truthful to a certain point, but as the president, there's some things you gotta know.
You have to know, or maybe there's some things that you just can't say.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened with the Kennedy documents, right? The reason he didn't release them is because he basically he was convinced that this would cause, I'm assuming, some type of either hysteria or,
Yeah, I think one of his biggest reasonings was the information in there could damage people's lives that are still alive, but it wasn't a risk to national security. Like, it wasn't something that you can't release. But I think that he released certain things, but he didn't release all of it because people came out and was like, listen, can you just not do this?
It sounded like he said that he read part of it. I think that was a lie, but he said he read part of it. He didn't read the whole.
Yeah. He was dancing on that too.
Yeah, he definitely was.
But I think that part of that is also Trump trying to be transparent, but also, number one, when he did this interview, he wasn't elected yet, and if he came out and said something that is a national security risk, they're going to eat him alive. You're telling government secrets. This is super confidential, right? Like, but not just that. He's gonna open the MLK thing as well.
MLK. I mean, I don't see the problem with that.
Releasing all those documents.
I don't see a problem with that. And my thing is this: who are you protecting, right?
Right.
Like, you're protecting the people that murdered him.
What's the
What are we
government?
even talking about?
It's the government.
Okay, even if it's the government, right? Well, you open up so many cans of worms, because I know Candace talks about this, and she talking about the MLK Ultra program and how they use people. So the person who supposedly killed Kennedy, and maybe even MLK, I don't know. If they were in this program, this MK Ultra program, we really have to understand that now. So now you have to declassify more, because you can't just blame that person,
right,
if they were being manipulated psychologically or whatever.
I think that it all goes back to draining the swamp,
right? Getting rid of the FBI. Bro, the FBI, the CIA, the Federal Reserve. Not getting rid of it and not having anything in its place, but I'm saying, like, get rid of it and put what should be there.
They're about to, they have Vivek and Elon. They have their own. They're doing the something government efficiency.
Doge.
Yeah.
Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah, they're doing
Dogecoin.
that to get rid of all of those, which is perfect, right?
It's too perfect.
I don't think they're okay. Let me just say this:
they're getting rid of departments of the government that don't matter because they have hundreds.
Things that are called.
Please, Stephen, make an argument for the FBI, because I don't see what they do.
I'm not making an argument for them. Here's what I am. Let me say my point. I don't when I hear removing them, it doesn't make me. There's an uncomfortableness there, and the reason that I say that is, I think that we can't look at that department and say that they're all bad. I don't truly believe that. I think that there are benefits to those departments. The FBI, and I think Candace talked about this, or Judge Joe Brown, I don't remember, but they originally were all accountants. They were pencil pushers.
Yes.
And they were there to help solve crimes, but they were like psychological crimes, and they were, like finance crimes, things like that. And then what happened is they started to realize, well, we need field agents, and that's where things started to take a left. Because now
you think that's when it started to take?
Well, I'm not saying
what
that.
But about?
I'm saying that, like, that's when things started to. I don't have enough information.
Wait.
I'm not making a.
No. Okay. So you're saying, all right, let's talk about the psycho killers, right? That was like the first. Okay, they're helping
like serial killers and stuff like that. Which state departments aren't doing.
Also government agents. They're also you think regular people are just becoming psycho killers?
No. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is,
no, it's the government creating a psycho killer and then investigating the psycho killer they created.
I
What are we
can't.
talking about?
Okay, I understand that happens, and I don't disagree. But there are people out there that are crazy, that are legitimately crazy, that are not government assets.
What, bro? And
You think that all serial killers are government assets?
When it comes to, well, I guess we'd have to look at how they classify serial killers. But when it comes to the amount of serial killers, right? What we talking about? How many aren't government assets to some extent, or at least the result of some type of government something? I mean, you're probably talking about like one or two
Listen,
that aren't actually.
I don't have enough information to. I don't have a stance on this.
So are you saying like the people like Jeffrey Dahmer, they work for the government?
I'm not when I not necessarily work for the
You're
government.
saying they've been manipulated, propagandized, or
maybe some like MK Ultra type.
Right, exactly. I'm saying that they are either influenced or their actions are a direct result of what the government has done.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not. You said make a point. I'm not fighting against.
What do you feel? Okay, the point that I'm trying. What do you feel uncomfortable?
I'm saying
you're uncomfortable about what the FBI is supposed. What we think.
Maybe that's what it is.
They don't do what you think they're supposed to do.
So I think that so for example,
It's the same thing with police.
because I watch I watch these shows, documentaries and stuff, and then you have companies or you have the state people, the state police that are doing their job, and then but maybe you have these small little hick towns in Texas or backwater woods in Mississippi, and they don't deal with certain things, right? But then they have an FBI field office that's 100 miles away, and they have dealt with
What about
certain,
okay? Listen, you have state troopers, you have
What if
SWAT.
the state doesn't deal with it?
Huh?
What if the state doesn't deal with that type of crime?
The whole state?
I'm talking. Listen.
Okay.
You have there are specialties, just like in
Right,
doctors. You have specialties.
Yes.
And if you have like Chicago, where they deal with murders, they deal with a lot of them. And you have a crazy crime spree or something happening in Louisiana somewhere where it's just like, we never deal with this stuff. And the state comes in, they're like, this is a little bit much for us. They bring somebody in from Chicago and they can help because they're like, we deal with this stuff. We can put together the psychological profile.
Someone from Chicago. Are you talking about FBI or what?
We're talking about government agencies.
No, the argument is for FBI, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
So you're saying they're from Chicago?
I'm just using them as an example. Maybe they want to be Chicago because they're probably not the closest. You probably bring in Tampa, the Tampa field office.
That it doesn't make any sense because
What doesn't make sense about that?
Because there are plenty of other enforcement agencies outside of the FBI.
So what do you say?
Plenty.
So we're not
even if we were still going to get resources from another state, it doesn't have to be the FBI.
I think that the idea of the FBI is good.
Okay, so you're talking about a symbol, and this is why.
Maybe that's why. And we're talking this out. I'm not arguing.
Defund the FBI.
I'm not. That's not what I said.
I'm not saying get rid of the FBI and leave a gaping hole. I'm saying put a department there to do what we think the FBI is supposed to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, because you have the FBI, they're full of bureaucrats. They're not elected. Same thing with the Secret Service. They're appointed, right? They have a lot of power. So anytime you talk about bureaucrats, the swamp. This is Vivek and Musk.
I mean, I think they talked about the FBI.
They definitely talked about the FBI.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all linked together. FBI, the CIA, the Justice Department, they're all intertwined.
Interpol, M6, they're all intertwined.
Yeah.
They're all intertwined.
They're just different
heads of the same beast.
But I think that there needs to be some sort of, they need oversight.
That's ridiculous. Well, go ahead.
Well, they need oversight. They need to have someone
So
that they
oversight is your.
Well, maybe the Doge department now they have to, because I think that their only oversight is Congress.
Who, FBI?
Yeah, and special hearings and stuff. But even then, like at Secret Service is linked to the executive branch. Congress can't fire Secret Service agents. This is why they were telling that one woman when Trump got shot, she needs to retire. They can't fire her. She was appointed by the president. So I think that there needs technically the checks and balances of them is the executive office, or the executive branch, but the executive branch put them in power.
You have the Coast Guard, you have the National Guard, you have SWAT, you have
yeah, but they're not investigatory.
The police departments have the investigation departments.
Yes, but the example that I gave is in these little small areas that they don't really.
Then go to if you're saying the whole state, nobody in the whole state can investigate. Okay, go to a neighboring state.
I'm saying that you have people that specialize in certain things because they do it more often.
We've got border security. Bro, we have so many hats. We don't need the FBI.
I'm not.
We don't need the what's the
NCIS.
NCIS.
It's the naval.
Is that the naval? Mm-hmm. That's what Snowden was on.
The NCIS. Yes, that's like naval JAG. It's like naval FBI. They're federal.
Okay, so you have the NCIS as well, but they need to be checked.
I think that there needs to be a change because I think that at this point we realize that especially the fucking CIA, these niggas are
They're
wild.
off the chain.
These niggas are wild.
From inception, though.
But I think that there needs to be an adjustment somewhere. But at the same time, I think that what we think that the FBI does, I think that they need to then actually do what we think that they do. And then lose other powers. The president should not be able to send the FBI to parents' houses that were saying or that have said, they're protesting the school boards. This was a real thing, right? Where the FBI actually went to try to arrest these people, and some they did arrest, by saying, "Oh, these people are killers and they should be killed," and the FBI goes to their house. Because the executive branch is censoring speech.
Right.
I think that there's no reason.
They went to RZA's house.
RZA's?
Yeah.
I can imagine. Right?
And he don't talk about killing
But
nobody.
then you got niggas like Diddy. Who are you going to have raid them? Right? If Diddy was so powerful and he's living in New York and he's got all this money, he's got all this power in local police department.
Homeland Security. What are we talking about?
Well, I'm just
Steven,
saying.
what are you doing?
But it's Homeland Security. That's not their job.
I mean, if you're trying. Okay, the way you're presenting this argument is as if there's not another branch.
I'm just not. First of all, as I've stated, I'm not making an argument.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm talking because I'm trying to work it out in my head.
I'm just saying. There's so many departments.
But the FBI is the investigative branch of that. I'm not saying that other departments can't do it, but if the reason that they do what they do is because that's what they've been doing for the last 100 years or 50, 60 years, they're going to be the best at it.
I think that the FBI and the CIA and agencies of that same ilk, I think that they're the long arm of the law. I think that the people, the ruling class, the people, the whatever, I think that they specifically use these types of agencies to manipulate the world as their chessboard. That's the reason why you'll have the CIA going to Mexico and determine who's going to be the president. Why is the CIA doing that?
Once again, we're not talking about the CIA because these niggas is crazy.
Okay, so you would have no defense for the CIA. Then.
I mean, honestly, because
I ain't trying to say nothing online bad about them. Hey, respect to the CIA, man.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is like the CIA, as bad as they are, they also do the same thing for the benefit of America.
What does that mean? Like,
I'm just saying.
No. Like, okay, so for example, if the CIA doesn't go and manipulate things in Mexico, do you think the cartel has as much power as they have?
No.
No. The reason why the cartel has as much power as they have, and the reason why they're a problem for us, is because the CIA created the problem in the first place.
You're not getting. First of all, CIA, FBI. I don't think they're actually going anywhere.
I don't either.
I'm
not saying that I don't either.
I think
they should.
I think that there needs to be some changes. I don't know how that's going to happen, where that's going to come from, and most people that are hearing this conversation are going to be like, "Y'all are crazy."
Of course,
because they don't understand what these agencies have done and what they do.
And what they do, and why they were established, and who established them.
Right.
They
So-
don't know any of the history of that.
So they don't
stuff.
understand that. So yes, they're going to be. That's why I said, it's uncomfortable for me to say that getting rid of them. It makes me feel uncomfortable, but I understand, and I could say then yeah, we could and should. But the other side of me is like, well, they've been here for all of my life, and they've always been deemed as it's the FBI, right? Like you just don't mess with them. It's like the what's the Russian, the KGB? You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing. The secret police, right? It's I think
You're still indoctrinated a little bit.
who?
Yeah.
Do you think that it's wrong when I say that we should just get rid of the FBI? You just say, "Yep, we should do it." There's no in your brain that says, "Man, well maybe we can change them." I'm not sure if we just get rid of them.
Get the good ones.
That's no. When I said we should just get rid of the FBI, I said there's a part of me that feels uncomfortable with that thought. That doesn't, you don't have that in your head. That doesn't, you just think, yeah, we can do without them.
I would say that I don't have the level of care about the FBI because I don't do what they do, or I don't know the intricacies of what they do to protect. So I don't have this level of, oh my gosh, we need them or else it's going to be a burning fucking building.
When you have a problem and you go to the FBI, do you think you're getting a solution from them?
I don't think you can just go to the FBI.
You can.
I mean, you can call them, but I mean, depending on
that's what I'm talking
depending
about.
on what the issue is, I mean, they're going to kick that down.
I mean, but how many issues on a day-to-day basis does a common human need the FBI?
I mean, almost never.
No, I mean virtually never. The only reason why a normal human being needs the FBI is because the government has orchestrated some event where the FBI is needed.
The
That's the
FBI,
point,
the FBI, and maybe there's something here, but the FBI was the one that solved the McDonald's scheme. So the McDonald's board. Wait, so,
Who cares?
what? Well, listen, you're not okay.
No,
I'm not saying I care. You know why?
I get it.
You know why? Because there are people that legitimately out there were getting scammed.
Okay.
They were spending their money. How many board pieces did you collect trying to win the
Boardwalk and like
board? Yeah,
Monopoly?
nigga. Yes, they were. The
FBI has something to do with Monopoly?
no, they solved
The
it.
mafia. You talking about when the mafia was collecting pieces?
They were rigging the game. They had an insider, and they started rigging the game, and they were taking all of the winning pieces and then giving them out to other members of their families and stuff, and collecting all the winnings, the cars, everything.
Oh, that's why no one normal.
Correct. So no one was winning, but McDonald's kept making money, so they were none the wiser, right? I mean, and they were spreading it out, and they were giving it to.
Do they still do those games?
No, because of the mob.
They still do.
Not a McDonald's game. They change it up, but I don't think that they do anything like it anymore.
Okay, you're talking about specifically You're not talking about Monopoly game. You're talking McDonald's.
McDonald's Monopoly game.
Okay.
Yeah.
You used to get those. Let me get a supersized fry.
Bro, it was fun, bro.
What
playing that
it
game.
was, but what I'm saying is,
I was like, we almost
is that
You ain't never get it.
what I'm saying is that was not done by just the local police.
No, of course not.
Because it was
federal.
it was statewide or countrywide.
It's a federal issue, right?
So how it is if it's happening in Florida and New York, but yet they're getting contacts and pieces out of Cali?
Sure.
Who coordinates that?
Correct. And
so that's what I'm saying. Like
I get what you're saying. That's why I said, and excellent point, Stephen. I was waiting for you to say something.
well, I didn't have. I wasn't fighting for this. I was trying to work it out.
I'm trying to understand why you feel uncomfortable, but this is what I said. I said get rid of the FBI and then create
Another
agency.
FBI.
But create it to do what you think the FBI is supposed to do,
Only do that,
and only do that.
and then basically,
And it's going to be a small bureau,
right? So
It'll be-
basically, they would do. So the FBI, for those that don't know, and Mel doesn't care, so maybe he doesn't know, but the FBI stands for Federal Bureau of Investigations, Right? That's what they're supposed to do. CIA is the Central Intelligence Agency. Central meaning they take intel
From
worldwide
everywhere,
and then they center
bring it in.
That is what they do. That's why I was saying that the FBI originally they were pencil pushers. They were investigators. They didn't have that legal. They weren't kicking your door down. That wasn't the FBI. Right, they started to get those, or they created that because of like mobsters and stuff, and they were killing people, and these people were going across state lines, which you have jurisdictions, so they needed an agency that would be able to then take all the information from these gangsters from like Chicago and whatever, and they would Bonnie and Clyde, all these people, and they would go across the state lines. Right now, that's what I'm saying.
Now let's break that down. Right, I think the McDonald's thing is where you just stop there, because that
I was just talking
that
about
made sense. That was a good point, in my opinion. Here's the problem: the whole Bonnie and Clyde and the mobsters and all that would all be handled by local police now. That would be handled by the state troopers. All the local they could handle that. The reason why the mobsters and everything gets so out of control is because of the corrupt police.
Well, not just that, but the bureaucracy of saying, well, you can't cross. The information doesn't travel.
Steven.
Well, I'm saying you just simply would get rid of some of those
some of the
red tape.
Yeah. I got you. I'm with you on that. So if to further, I guess, perpetuate my point, make the police do what we think, and Mel said this, what we think the police should do.
That's all you investigate, detective.
Bro, if I get robbed today, I go out, my car, windows busted open, personal things are gone, I have the camera footage, I take the whole case to the police. It's open and shut. Here's the person's face, here's the license plate. I will never get justice. I will never get anything. They do not do what you think they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So if they did what you thought they were supposed to do, Bonnie and Clyde,
we wouldn't even need
we wouldn't need the Federal Bureau. This is my point. But the government has created problems for the Federal Bureau to solve.
And that is the issue with bureaucracy.
This is the point.
This is the issue. So I think the power can be taken away from the FBI.
Okay.
First of all, we know that department isn't going anywhere. They're not just going to remove it. They're not deleting it.
No, because he's talking about, well,
they're not deleting the FBI.
Here's the problem. Then you just get the IRS. If you take the power from the FBI, you just create an IRS.
No.
Yes, you do.
Well, then you just investigate crime.
And
then now what them niggas do is they just simply push that information down to the state. Here's the information. You go to arrest them, and when it comes to prosecution, it would be prosecuted by the state, and then that information would then come from the FBI based upon their investigation. But the FBI doesn't actually do anything.
What was that boxer's name that dated that white woman? The big burly guy, something. The one that they made they created charges.
I know you're talking about
the traffic. It's like a trafficking thing, or whatever.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. They didn't like the fact that this
sex trafficking. That's where sex trafficking came from. So he was taking her across state lines,
so that they could control this. Bro, that's what they're doing.
Right.
This is what we're protecting. It doesn't make sense.
I'm not saying.
Cool story. All right. Now one of the big
Mel had nothing to add to that.
Well, I mean, y'all went somewhere I wasn't even thinking, but I appreciate it. They recently had one of the most popular fighters have a fight with one of the more popular YouTubers. You know what I mean? Both of them support DTJ. You know what I mean? Or DJT, Donald Trump. You feel me? And Tyson and Jake Paul. They recently had a fight, and I don't think it was like it was more of a. I guess their own little event. It was like a Netflix event or so.
It was sanctioned.
Nothing little about it.
It was sanctioned. It's probably the biggest.
And probably of this.
No, it's probably the biggest of all time.
Was.
No, I don't know.
No. Like, I think it was the biggest of all time.
Of ever in life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, maybe because Netflix is right.
It's Netflix, yeah.
And I was actually thinking about going to the fight because it's literally right.
It's literally right. It was right here. No, it was. How much was it? It was expensive.
Well, it depends on where you sit.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I looked it up. They were.
Depends on where
Probably
you
get seats
sit.
for like $1,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but they have some other seats that are like nosebleed.
You don't be in a fighting like that though.
But when is the next time you're going to be in a position where you have Donald Trump? Sorry, not Donald Trump. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, or these legendary figures in the building, and it's literally right down the street.
If you're just
And-
that far away, I don't see the point. But I also want
Right, 'cause
I-
you're watching
You've
on a
never been to
Jumbotron.
that stadium. Though.
You're watching on a Jumbotron.
right.
No, the thing, even those Jumbotrons, even if you have bad seats, you can see absolutely everything there. Absolutely everything. So it's like not really a bad seat unless you're looking directly at the ground or whatever. But you can sit.
No.
just so far
What
from the action
what
is
I'm saying is, if I'm going to, if I'm, okay, so I'm not like a big we just talked about this. I'm not a big concert person. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been to one concert. To me, just being in the space, I don't really care.
I mean, it's not necessarily. I would like it. Just
Right.
because to be around same people or just individuals who enjoy fighting.
Do you
sport.
think that most people there were Republicans?
I would. It's kind of hard to say, but I would. I mean, depending on the cost, I would imagine that they are.
That's crazy.
And
the
also-
fact that you associate Republicans with money.
Well, because they make the most money for the most part.
I mean, they're
Or at
maybe
least on the
true.
good.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I couldn't say that, but I would just say for the fighters,
liberals be.
because they're both. I mean, Michael.
I just thought about it. I'm like, bro, these are probably a lot of Republicans.
I mean, the answer is probably yes. It was in Texas. I mean, but
Well,
and
but
not.
but Arlington isn't necessarily an area that's full of Republicans.
Yeah,
I mean, but to see those two in general, boxing, they both support Donald Trump. I would think it makes more sense for it to be a lot more Republicans. But outside of that factor, what do you all think about the fight and how it went down? First of all, did you all see the fight?
Yeah.
Okay, and was it buffering for you all as well?
No.
You must saw the replay.
No, what they did was they put it's almost like a DVR. They showed us, they lagged us, and they reduced the quality.
Yeah, I was at interestingly, I was at Dave and Buster's, and when I was leaving Dave and Buster's, because my son texted me and asked if I was watching it, I was leaving. I took a picture of the screen and sent it to him, and I was like, I'm headed back to the house to finish watching it. And when I got to the house, when I got back to the house, it was like the third, was it inning? What's it?
It was the third. It was the third.
Third round, it went to the fourth, and I was like, fourth round? And I'm like, wait a minute. I just left Dave and Buster's, and it was in the fourth round. How is it still in the fourth round? And then that's when I pulled up the picture, and I showed Chris, and I'm like, look. And because I also was like, man, it's like fuzzy. And then we put two and two together and then realized, oh, they actually decreased the stream for probably the smaller people, the people that pay the $6.99 or $9.99, whatever. And then they kept the stream quality high for all their more expensive people that paid for it and businesses, stuff like that. But obviously it was probably 2-3 rounds behind.
I mean, but they did say they crashed the servers because they didn't expect their servers didn't have enough to handle the amount of people that were watching it.
Well, that's how you know it was
for
the
that
biggest
live
fight ever.
for that live event.
And has that happened to Netflix before?
Well, they just started recently doing live things.
So then that's okay. Well, the reality is their servers are still streaming to tens of millions of people every day, right? So they've got a lot of capacity. Going live is not the problem. The problem is you have hundreds of millions of eyeballs on it at the same time.
It's 130 million.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's the 130 million watching at the same time.
It was just under the Super Bowl. What I think we saw, it was 132?
I think it was 123 for Jake Paul and them.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
okay,
Super
yeah.
Bowls.
Yeah, but it was 132 for the Super Bowl, and it was just under, which was by leaps and bounds above what pay-per-view has done for their fights.
Okay, so aside from the technical aspect of it, when it comes to that fight, what are your all thoughts when it comes to Tyson versus Jake Paul?
Nigga.
How
Me
we
and Chris
feeling?
me and Chris were going back and forth.
Okay, well that's fine. Because you did have a very different opinion going in. So I personally thought before the fight, I was like, Jake Paul's gonna win. That was my opinion.
Yeah.
And I was actually shocked that a lot of people thought Tyson could win. It's almost like the whole Bruce Lee thing. Like people think that Bruce Lee could just beat anybody.
I used to think that. Growing up.
That's
but then you look at it from realistic aspect. Like, this is a little short, little Chinese man.
125 pounds. Like,
What you mean, Bruce Lee can't beat everybody?
In my mind, he can.
I mean,
And
in
that's-
my head, I mean, Bruce Lee. I mean, what you mean?
He's
right?
unbeatable.
1-inch punch.
Yeah.
yeah, he's
Right,
unbeatable.
he's unbeatable, and so I think that everybody's caught up in the lore of Mike Tyson. Now,
Nigga
Mike-
ain't no
yeah.
lore, nigga. We watched him.
well, it's lore now.
It's definitely lore.
It's the lore, the legend. I think it's the older
People
generation.
just forget all the negative stuff towards the end of his career. But I don't want to cut you off and
Okay,
finish your point.
so that was my prediction, which I'm not surprised. Now, here's what I was surprised about. Tyson came out looking very bad, and he came out looking very bad. Tyson, if you're watching this, please don't be mad at me, man.
He doesn't care.
Nigga, Tyson, if you see this come through,
I think he cares. I think he gets affected
he-
by what people say.
he cares.
Okay, well, whatever.
He's not going to talk about that.
Okay, whatever. I didn't think he looked good. I don't know why. I just recently heard that he had a stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why the fight got pushed back to this.
So if you didn't look good because of the stroke, that makes sense.
He lost 30 pounds.
All of that makes sense.
In
and
blood.
Well,
Ooh, that's crazy.
It was 30 pounds and half his blood, right?
I don't know about half of
You
it.
don't lose 30 pounds in blood.
Wait,
You don't have 30
why
pounds of
would a
blood in your body?
stroke cause you to lose?
I'm not sure if he had a stroke. That's what he said. I'm not sure.
No,
Chris said he had a stroke.
Yeah.
No, he had a stroke.
He had a stroke. Why?
He came out with a statement.
Before or after?
That's why I said he cares.
Prior.
Okay. Yeah, he cares. So he didn't look good, and he wasn't moving well. There was something wrong with his legs.
Yeah.
You know?
Trust me. I
Because
looked at his legs,
well,
I was
here's
like,
the
my legs
thing.
feel like that.
You were saying that like people were thinking Tyson, but yes, if you look at his training, that nigga looked ready.
Okay.
He looked good.
And
But what we saw
Wasn't-
not that.
even still, was Tyson looking good? The only difference between Tyson looking good practicing versus actually getting in the ring is that Jake Paul would have actually had to try. Because let's be honest, Jake Paul did not try.
I think Jake Paul was pulling punches because at this point Tyson had gotten sick, and I think that he knew what was up.
He
And they
knew
needed to
100%.
They needed, number one, these niggas are businessmen, so they want to get paid, and number two, they want to put on a show.
They want to put on a show,
So-
and it would have been horrible because we're not idiots. It would have been horrible for Jake to knock Tyson out under those circumstances.
Correct.
Because he easily could have.
So I think that's why people are saying that it's rigged.
I think it was like round 3 or round 4 where he hit Tyson. I was just like, oh, he can finish him right here. But he let up. He let up. I was like, okay, I see what's going on.
I think that I think there should have been more time put between.
Oh, you push it out.
Yeah.
They had
I'm
already
talking about,
delayed.
When Tyson got sick, I
Not-
think that
okay,
there
like
should
next
have
year or
been more
something like
time.
that.
Yeah.
Didn't they delay it twice?
No.
Oh, it's just one?
It was
Okay.
was it 2 months?
Okay.
Or-
Well, it's happened in June. It's October now, so it's 5 months. That's a decent amount of time.
June, that's a lot. That's a long time.
June?
That's almost
That's
half a year.
That's a long time.
Okay.
It sounds like he might not.
I mean, after a stroke, nigga, 4 months? Nigga, hell no. No.
He shouldn't have had fought. Period. I don't think.
So
the
you-
fight,
Well,
without the
he's
stroke.
trying to come back.
I don't think he should have fought. Period.
Think the boxing's catching up to him?
He's done. What more do we want from our greats?
I don't think that nobody asked for the fight. Tyson wanted the fight.
He didn't want the fight. He accepted the fight because of Jake Paul.
How'd he get in the fight? How'd he get in with Roy Jones?
And those two are both boxers, which
Okay.
makes sense for me, which I would be more okay with because they have similar experiences and they were both professional
Boxers of the
boxers.
same era.
They're
That fight between Jones and Tyson should have been a regular sanctioned fight. That would have been good.
yeah,
That would have been good.
Well, they could knock each other out, or they wouldn't have got paid or something like that.
That's my point, right? Yeah.
There's all these different rules that makes them, get protected. So
I don't know. Me personally, I understand why Jake won. I understand why people are saying it's rigged because Jake, you could tell that he was not going 100%. And
No, they're saying Tyson was pulling punches.
yeah, I heard that too.
they were saying Tyson was pulling
Yes.
punches?
Bro, the
I mean, there
narrative
are
against
times-
Jake Paul is
there
absolutely
are-
absurd.
There
It
are
is.
times where I saw Tyson move and he was dipping and he had very quick movements. and you can still see power in those movements. I feel like Tyson. I missed the first couple rounds. I think the first 2 rounds you said he was still doing well, or he won those first 2 rounds.
Who, Tyson?
Yes.
They hugged the first round.
I'm just telling you. I'm
telling you what happened. The first round they hugged.
Well, that's not abnormal. Well, I don't know how much. I don't know how much hugging was done. These niggas was like cousins, long lost cousins hugging.
Mel, did you saw the first round?
Yeah. Well, it was a little buffery. So.
Even from the beginning.
Yeah, it was.
That's not.
Damn. It came to one point where we were watching like some of the prior fights, and then I was like, Anthony, what are we doing? Like, can we speed this up? And then it went to a completely different fight. I was just like, oh, we was way behind.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's what, but people didn't know that.
Yeah.
Me personally,
nigga, if you don't speak, what do you think?
I've been talking about it.
Go ahead.
I think
talk what you was talking at.
I think that Tyson had so much in him, and I just couldn't understand why he just wasn't hitting Jake Paul. Like, I felt like there were times he was trying to, and he just wasn't. I think Tyson could have beat him.
Do you think the reason why he was fighting like that is because of his own trauma? Like, he just had a stroke?
Something
caused the stroke?
Something wasn't, I don't know, but something wasn't connecting with Tyson. I think that Tyson beat himself. I don't think that Jake Paul beat him. He hit him, I saw hit him one good time.
Right, one good time.
One good time, he got hit in the face. Yeah. I mean, other than that, like, I think Tyson just, I don't know, maybe because he had the stroke. Like, we like, if you take Tyson out of legendary status and how he is in my brain, because Tyson's always been nigga Tyson. And I think that because he had the stroke, almost like a PTSD.
Right.
Like, almost like he gets in the ring, the first couple rounds, he's doing good. And then maybe Jake just hit him with a couple of jabs. It's the first time he's been actually hit since the stroke. And he's like, oh, shit. Right? But at the end, well, I think before the fight started, I said to you, Chris, if Tyson's gonna win, it has to end early.
100%.
Right?
Yeah,
if he was going to win, it had to end early. And then because it went all 8 rounds, nigga, at the end, Tyson looks like he's gonna fall over.
Yeah, he was gassed.
He looks like an old man.
He was gassed.
So I think that somewhere in there in the beginning, he came out somewhat as Tyson. And I think that at some point in there,
I didn't see Tyson.
Maybe at some point in there, he got jarred a little bit, and then the thought of the stroke, and we're never gonna know.
Yeah, I doubt he's gonna talk. I don't know. He might talk about it. I doubt it. I feel like there's an NDA
now.
I feel like the's an NDA somewhere.
No, I'm just talking about. Oh, you're saying in general around the fight.
Yeah,
because he could talk about his experience and like how he. Who knows? That nigga might start talking about a rematch.
I think we are painting Tyson in a light that isn't realistic to how he is today. We have as mentioned earlier, as far as his lore and that fear that Mike instills, because even when you hear him have a conversation, did y'all see the interview you had with that little girl?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna show you that. And like it makes you get those inklings. Oh, this is Tyson.
But
like,
that's how he looked when they were doing their interviews and their back and forth. I mean, nigga, Tyson.
All right, here's the interview that he did with this little girl.
For kids my age to see. But in your return to the ring for this fight, you are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over.
Damn.
Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. Absolutely.
He's very morbid in general.
My legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Damn!
I think that she.
Can you really imagine somebody say, I want my legacy to be this way when you're dead? Why do you want somebody? You think somebody really wants to think about you? What's the audacity? I think I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the fuck cares about me when I'm gone? My kids, my grandkids.
True. And again, thank you so much for sharing that. But in your return,
First of all, she's gonna do something great.
Yeah,
I don't know who she's from, where she's from.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no other point
About Tyson talking about
about the interview.
about Tyson.
No, about the interview.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw that.
I have a point.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that Tyson's extremely morbid. I think that I don't know why. It might be from things he experienced with his daughter. I don't know, but people do care. People still talk about Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And they will. And Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
They will, and they're gonna talk, and they're gonna care about you too. It's not you just dead and that's it, and everything you've ever accomplished, and no one cares anymore. That's not it. We still talk about great men of thousands of years ago to this very day. And I think that Tyson he'll be one of those characters of history.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that the reason why I show is that we get caught up in that lore because you see those moments where Tyson he displays a certain level of curiosity, or just when he talks, it's just like, man, like he makes sense and it hits at a different point. But going into this fight, it's like it's unreal. Like if you look at his professional fights, if you look at his last few losses that wasn't Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, or Buster Douglas, if you look at those fights that happened after that, he was not the same Tyson,
Right.
at all. Not one person.
But the question is why?
Because he doesn't have it anymore. He's deteriorating.
So you think it was a physical?
Not only physical, I think mentally as well.
I think more mentally than anything.
Because
else.
he even says it. He said it himself after those fights that we know he shouldn't have lost. He says, like, I just don't have it in me anymore.
The monster.
The monster, or because he doesn't like that part of himself.
Correct.
Which
And
is why he
right.
does mushrooms and he smokes weed and that things of nature, because he doesn't want to be in that fury, that anger mode.
Right,
He doesn't
right.
like that.
Right.
And so even if you take that part away from it, he physically isn't moving the exact same way. He doesn't have the same kind of torque anymore. There's wear and tear that's happening on his body. But also you have to look at it. He's fighting a man that's in his prime. A young man at that's in his prime, that actually has been fighting for like the past 6 years professionally, or training professionally, being in situations where you have to defend yourself. And he said he hasn't done anything on social media. It's only been his brother who's done the WWE stuff and, promoting the Prime drink and, being in the limelight. But Jake, he has been focused on nothing but boxing. So in no world did I think that Tyson was going to win against him, because I get rid of that idea of who he was and look at him for who he is. He hasn't been fighting like that. He hasn't been training like that consistently. He only trains for the fights. When Jake Paul, he trains all year round to stay ready for fights.
Do you think you could beat Tyson right now?
Hey, man. No.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, no, simply because, I would have to move, and I can't move the fastest right now.
Okay,
If I had my healed leg and I was training, yes. If I was just like not training,
right. I'm not saying, because you're not a boxer, right? So you'd have to go into training to be a boxer. But I'm saying right now, because I could beat Tyson if I trained.
Yeah.
Like for some years, probably.
I mean, I think there's a natural. I wouldn't even want to test it.
I'm tall. I'm big. Reach. If you train me,
Tyson fought taller people than him in his entire career.
But that's part of the reason why he was never going to win this fight, because Jake has him beat on every stat, and Tyson don't have the secret weapons he used to have. His quickness and the torque, and Mel was talking about, and just the mentality, that monster. All of those tools helped him overcome these. That's why he was David, right? Because he was a smaller guy.
Yeah, I thought he was. He's always kind of been smaller, but at least he had sort of like Ipo. He's smaller, but he has those hits. Go under Mashiba or whatever. But I thought seeing that Tyson fight, it made me think of how similar at the beginning of Tyson's career, Muhammad Ali, he fought someone when he's at the end of his ropes, and it ultimately ended up being some of the reasons why Muhammad Ali had that heavy brain damage, and it aided to his health. It will downgrade.
He could still be here today had he not pushed it.
I think that his death was much bigger than boxing, though. It's not. Well, I wouldn't say
they had already cut his mouth off. Why did it?
Well, it's more. I'm sorry. I wouldn't say necessarily. I don't think he died
You think the CIA
of
got
these
to him?
causes primarily because of boxing.
What causes are you talking about? The brain?
Yeah. Well, no. Aside from just like getting those heavy punches, if you think about him as a figure and who he embodies, for me, it would make sense for him to maybe get drugged or poisoned,
Like a Michael Jackson type deal?
something of that nature, something along those lines that will make his let's say he may be thinking he's getting a healing potion, but they're slowly feeding him death and he's dying or so. That's how I look at it.
Why?
Just because of if you've looked at his history over time and like he's affected the world and he has influences of, because, he's part of Islam, that type of, that realm, the reason why he changed his name. So
He's fighting the draft too.
Well,
that's back in the day.
Yeah,
that's back in the day.
Well, that's all part of who he is.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I understand. I'm asking about why kill him if he's no longer a threat.
Well, I'm saying that is the reason why he wasn't a threat, because they did something to make his condition worse.
Well, I do. Okay, I see what you're saying, and because they were doing something to make his condition worse, and that sped up his death.
Yeah.
Because I do think that. Yeah, when I said they took his mouth, that's what I was talking about. So okay, you got it. All right.
Yeah, because man, but I didn't like to see Mike in that light. It was hard for me to watch. I don't like. And the funny thing is, I also like Jake. I really do like Jake Paul. I think he's he's nothing like his brother. He supports Trump. It doesn't seem like he's a talking figure for the left.
Didn't he abandon Andrew Tate?
I think that was Logan.
Was that Logan?
That was Logan.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it was Logan.
Okay.
Because he spoke highly of, like, he didn't necessarily have any beef with Jake.
Okay.
It was more
maybe
about,
I misspoke then.
Yeah, I think it was Logan or so, but I didn't like seeing the fight. I wanted them to stop it. I was like, man,
damn,
man. I don't like to see people.
Yeah, that's kind of how Mel
you
is.
think it was elder abuse?
He's
Basically.
58.
That nigga
This man is old.
He made a conscious decision as a grown man.
Respect it. This is what he did
I
for a living.
I think that when he got sick, they should have cut it.
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah,
should have said,
but at that time,
They
too
probably
much.
already signed.
nigga,
you lose too
Yeah,
much
yeah,
money.
but you had a stroke. What do you mean? Like what? No, what do you?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
And I do think it was rigged. Not rigged in the sense of...
Not like, oh, somebody had bricks in their glove, but like it was scripted.
Yeah.
In a way. How about that's a better?
Yeah, I could
In
definitely...
what way?
I could say it's scripted.
I think that both parties recognized that Tyson was hurt, but they needed to put on a show.
Yeah.
Well, then that's not. I don't call that rigged. I wouldn't look. I wouldn't.
Scripted?
I would look at. It's not even scripted.
That's the only way. That's the only word I can think of.
I think it's more of an unwritten kind of agreement
Yeah.
where it's like
Now it becomes entertainment.
because if you look at when Jake very first came out, he was nervous.
Well, I think that also could be the stage was probably the biggest stage he's ever been on.
He said he enjoyed fighting.
I mean, I
he
would.
said he enjoyed fighting on that stage.
I'm not saying but that doesn't just because you enjoy it don't mean you're not nervous.
He said it was less distracting. I don't know. It seemed like he preferred it. He said he preferred it. So
Well, you said that he looked nervous in the beginning.
nervous to be in the ring with Tyson, not nervous of the crowd. He's a crowd whore.
I'm
He's not
saying
nervous
that
of the crowd.
I'm saying the stage. This is the biggest event ever. Regardless, I don't care who you are. There's going to be a level of nerves.
Yo, Floyd was not there. Does he
Cardi
have
B.
beef? Does Jake Paul and Floyd have? Is there any beef?
Floyd wasn't there.
I didn't see him.
Probably because Floyd. They didn't say anything about him that I know of.
I don't know if they have beef.
Maybe because nobody wanted to fight Floyd. Floyd will have his chance.
No, I'm sure. Well,
What
Floyd
do you-
fought Logan.
Yeah, what do you?
Oh, that's right. But Floyd was still Floyd. But
he
he's
wasn't.
not. What do you mean?
I mean, Floyd is always going to be
They
Floyd.
they fought.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it was years after he already retired.
Yeah, but not like Tyson.
This was within the last 4 years.
Wait.
You're not you're missing my point. Tyson is he's almost 60. Floyd is still, what is he, 40 something, whatever it is?
Yeah.
He hasn't been out the game that as long as Tyson. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So
Floyd's style of boxing, he could fight in his 50s.
Yeah, because his
probably
defense
could.
is immaculate. He doesn't aim to get hit or take these shots. He's trying to dodge the shots.
He's dodging, and he's just getting point.
And he's a mastermind. He's a mastermind.
And also he's maintained his body immaculately.
well, yeah,
doesn't
because
drink.
he's not getting hit
He
like
does-
that.
and he doesn't
No,
drink.
just-
He doesn't smoke. He doesn't do anything.
Holistically,
well, yeah, Tyson talking about he was doing coke and all this.
yeah,
Tyson,
holistically, Floyd is probably the most healthy boxer of that status that I've
in
ever.
that age range. In that age range.
No, like in that championship status, like in that limelight where we can actually see them. There might be.
He is the ideal. I think Floyd Mayweather, personality aside, I think his mindset when it comes to boxing is like the perfect mindset. It literally defines the definition of what it means to be a boxer.
Right.
You hit more than you get hit. And
You shouldn't want to stand there and just go toe to toe and just blow for blow.
you don't wanna brawl.
and
You
take
right.
shots. No,
Yeah.
like it may not be the most ideal visual for people who are looking at it for entertainment, but if you're in this combat sport, you want to make sure that you are doing absolutely everything to be the last man standing.
If you're taking a hit, you're taking it for a reason, not
Yeah.
just because you just took a hit.
Yeah.
He's almost what do they call Triple H, the cerebral assassin? That's Floyd. He's
If we were to watch boxing the way Floyd boxes holistically, it would become something like fencing.
yeah.
Right,
Okay.
and so it would still have a crowd, and there would be people that love the technicality of it, but it wouldn't be as big as what it is in America. At least.
We love boxing for boxing,
Well-
right? Like it's. But I think that you're right when you look at the athlete and as hard as they train, and they're training for movement, they're training for cardio and longevity, stamina. How do you utilize that stuff? It's not just sitting there and getting hit. Most of your training is you're not getting hit. You're training to move.
Well, that's the problem. When you get hit, your plan goes out the window, right?
Right.
And so, but that's not with Floyd. He's one of the few boxers that no, my game plan is
Right. That's
still,
why. So I'm saying Mel has a very good point. It's just visually because I first couple times I'd watch Floyd, I'm like, nigga, I don't like watching this. Nigga, stop running. You know what I'm saying?
Stop
like,
camping.
Yeah, like
Stop camping.
nigga, I done bought 2. Yeah, nigga, for real, he's camping. I done bought 2 Floyd fights, pay-per-views.
Did you buy? You bought the Conor McGregor one? Because I know we watched.
It
that
was what's the Pacquiao?
one. Okay. Yeah, we went.
And
to
it might have been Conor as well.
We used to go to all those
Because they were both like in May. There were 2 of them. They were in May. They were both on my birthday. So I ended up buying both of them. So I'm like, nigga, I done put money, but this is even before that, right? I'm like, nigga, stop running.
Even the Ronda Rousey fight, we went to go see. We went to somebody's house.
Ooh, that was terrible.
Yeah, she got one. I was heartbroken.
Man, I still fuck with Ronda.
She's in WWE now.
That makes sense. She's washed up as a fighter. That makes
I
sense.
don't know.
I'm okay with her because I didn't like seeing her get hurt like that. I was like,
her
oh,
ass busted.
I didn't like that.
It was it, and that was it.
I just would be like, stop, stop.
Why? Because she was a woman.
Partially, because I honestly don't like seeing women get hit.
Yeah,
Like even if it's coming from a woman, I don't like to see a woman get hit.
I just liked Ronda, and I
I mean,
didn't
I
wanna see
like
her
Ronda
lose.
mainly because I found out she liked Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, oh,
Nigga.
I rock with her.
Did you remember seeing Ronda in that Fast and Furious movie?
I'd never watched Fast and Furious stuff.
You've never watched any of them?
Nigga,
I watched
cut the show.
I watched the first one.
This nigga said he ain't never seen Fast and Furious. Cut this time.
Y'all like cars.
Wrap
I
this shit
don't.
up.
Mel,
There's nothing attractive about.
It's not really a car.
Nigga, even
show,
as
bro.
even younger, you didn't watch the Fast and Furious
I
movies?
said I watched the first one.
Nigga, that was like the intro. Nigga, that's
I think you gotta watch at least 1 and 2.
Nigga.
You might get tricked into watching 3 because you watched 1 and 2, but you gotta watch
number
at
3,
least 1 and 2.
Tokyo Drift. Nigga,
Yeah.
that was good
I mean,
too, nigga.
I've probably seen them. I just haven't. I don't remember. I know Bow Wow was in one of them.
That's Tokyo
Probably
Drift.
Tokyo
He
Drift.
was actually in a couple. He was in a couple.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't. I see it like, man, all these damn movies. I'm good.
Steve Mel said, "All these cars, I don't drive
good.
like that."
I don't drive like that. But yeah, I think. I don't know what a point I was making there.
I don't either. Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Tokyo Drift. Those first 3, you got to. I mean, they're classics.
Okay. I'm good. I think my life will be perfectly fine if I don't see those.
Then Fast and Furious, Fast 5. Yeah, you know after that you don't have to. You know they start getting crazy, but 4 or 5.
I saw Ready Player One.
Oh yeah.
That shit is good. I was just like, how can I watch this?
Yeah, there's so much nostalgia baked into it. Woo, such a good movie.
Ready Player One was good. And it's funny, like as soon as it started, I was like, oh, I know how this is going to go. Like when he told him like go the other way, he got the clue or whatever.
Bruh.
I was like, this is dope. And then King Kong was just banging on the thing. I was
Bruh.
like, this is sick.
So cool. This is one of the, and it's crazy because imagine, Mel, if we lived in a natural world where creativity was able to flourish. How many cool, because like we're all, maybe not Steven so much, but a lot of people are on this thing like movies kind of suck right now. Like,
What do you mean not Steven?
I don't know.
Yeah,
where you
movies.
are. I don't know where you are, but movies suck, and it's like why? Because I don't know. The Hollywood elite have it's what's happening in Hollywood is the actors and actresses are leaving. So originally Hollywood, before Hollywood was Hollywood, the films were in New York. I think it was New York, and then Edison, he was Edison. Yeah, I think it was Thomas Edison. I guess somehow was in control of that, and he was putting all these restrictions and rules and regulations on it, and what you can do.
The nigga that invented the light bulb?
Yeah.
How did that nigga have anything to do with?
Man,
these niggas.
These niggas, man.
Yeah.
They're into everything.
Yeah.
And he probably just. And then they went to Hollywood to be able to be creative and blah blah, and then they did it again. So I guess movies are in a transitional state. That's why you have Netflix and.
Well, you have a lot of movies. Well, you know, they have the actor strike. Actors are just like, we're not getting paid. So you're losing quality. And this is why you have Netflix doing all these films overseas. And Netflix is putting out stuff. And then you only have a couple people that actually have studios outside of Hollywood.
Right.
And then you got Tyler Perry, but nigga, we don't fuck with him like that. Because all his movies are gay black people.
I mean, his studio is still getting used, but yeah.
But I'm saying, you know,
we're not rocking with
So I've been watching stuff on Netflix, which I don't like watching stuff over from if they don't speak English, because then it's when it's like
Watch
weird.
it in the language.
with subtitles.
Yeah. That's what I always do.
Yeah.
That's what I did with this series called Dark. It was like a German film, and I didn't realize it at first. But then they said one word. I was like, this didn't sound right. But then I was like, oh, this is a German film, and I just changed the language and. Because I'm okay with subtitles.
I naturally watch stuff with subtitles.
That's what I did with Heist. Y'all seen Heist?
I never seen Heist.
Heist.
I think is it Money Heist?
Money Heist. Yeah.
That was 50 Cent?
No. Nigga, you've never with the red outfits.
Mel don't. He don't.
Red
The
outfits?
red. Yeah, they're.
I'm thinking of Dead Presidents.
Nigga.
No.
No.
Money Heist.
You need to watch that.
Money Heist is very
Is
good.
that
have-
with Ice Cube, son?
No.
Mel,
You're
stop.
thinking you're in a whole
You're in a
wrong
whole
country.
different world.
Oh.
You don't know.
Is it O'Shea Jackson
Yeah,
Jr.?
I think they're Korean. There's 5 seasons.
Oh, it's a series.
Yes.
it's on Netflix. This.
Facial trailer? Oh, official trailer. Money Heist. Oh, yeah, I've never seen that.
Bro.
Oh,
How,
nigga.
how recent is that?
That's
Year
old.
5.
They just I think that they had us. The 5th season came out maybe last year.
So
Yeah,
it's,
2000,
it's good.
2017.
good.
There's 5.
It's good.
No, I will say the
Money
first
Heist.
the first
I'll add it to my
3
list.
seasons. The last season, so, you know, you can. It's like you know, you can tell it kind of like losing a little steam a little bit. It's an amazing series, though.
I'll check it out.
I may go back and watch it.
There's just so many different series and movies I need to.
And there's a lot of
watch.
episodes too.
Right, and so in that one, you said it's Korean or what did you say?
Yeah, I think it's Korean. Well, it's.
I thought it was Spanish.
No, I think it is Spanish, but I saw something Korean. Maybe it was that's Money Heist Korea. Oh no, there's a spinoff, Money Heist Korea.
Money Heist.
And then they have I'm thinking of the spinoff, which is Berlin, which is I was like But
Oh,
there's
it's
a
about
spinoff-
Berlin.
Yeah,
Is it about Berlin?
It's about him.
Right.
And
Okay.
It's a prequel.
A prequel
to Money Heist.
Is that not good? It sounds like it'd be.
It's
good.
not bad. It's
Okay.
just not as good as Money Heist.
Yeah, it's hard to really
Yeah.
recapture that.
But yeah, okay, so that's what I'm thinking. But the Money Heist is amazing.
Okay, I'll check that
Yeah.
out. It'll be the next thing I add to my list.
You should
Amongst the
watch
many
that.
other animes.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad you watched Ready
Very
Player One, man.
surgical mentally is excitement. Damn that man! I'm about to watch that thing again. It's good.
Anywho, we appreciate y'all rocking out with us. You know, Donald Trump, his entire cabinet they got the Avengers assembled.
Did they get the whole cabinet chosen?
Well,
nigga, they're just
Just the highlights, the big highlights.
Yeah, they're gonna have the Senate or they're gonna have the House for like I want to say the next year and a half. Or something.
They gotta work. Well, I haven't had anyone confirmed yet. I don't think everyone's gonna make it through. But there's a
What is that?
There's
What do you mean?
Who has to confirm them?
the Senate,
That's
but the Senate is Republican.
yeah, but
if-
why? There, I want to know. Do we have the ability to override that?
Yes and no. So there is a Trump is being a little sneaky. It's not really sneaky, but it is what it is. But they have this thing where the Senate goes on vacation, basically.
I heard something about this. Okay.
And if he makes appointments during their recess, they don't go through the Senate hearing. They just go straight through.
There you go.
Now, it's good because Trump gets his people. They don't have to worry about anything. But some of the people want to go through that because they want to. They're basically, if they go through that process, they've been vetted. Nobody can say they weren't vetted.
Right.
So it brings more legitimacy to them.
And also, you don't piss off the Senate.
Correct. I mean, it happens, and they're all Republican, and for the most part, everyone's going to be okay. There's two people. One of them's name is Matt Gaetz. The other one is Peter something, and I can't remember which one is which. But one of them he was investigated by the Justice Department for being involved in like sex trafficking of a 17-year-old. Taking her across state lines, right? Exactly what you're talking about.
I heard about that,
but it's not true.
He vehemently denies it.
He was investigated. They showed it was not true. He actually was being blackmailed by, I believe, someone in the FBI. White-mailed. That's not okay. Whatever. And by someone in the FBI, they actually had him wear a wire because they were going to pay his dad. And they got the evidence, and they believe the guy that was doing it got convicted, and he's in jail serving 10 years. So it's like it's all bullshit. So I think that he wants to go through that process,
which makes sense.
But a lot of that information hasn't come out, and they want some of that to come out. But then Ron Johnson was like, "I don't know if we need to open that bag of."
So in order to get Alex Jones in, we got to wait until the Senate goes on recess.
Alex Jones, they were talking about him going to The View. What were you talking about, Alex Jones?
No. Joe Rogan going to CNN.
Joe Rogan? You said Alex Jones.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Niggas are talking about hiring Alex Jones on The View because The View, they're about to get rid of like 3 of those girls.
There is no way.
Steven, what are you talking about? He's not going to The View.
You said Alex. I'm just telling you what nigga is talking about.
Who? Did you hear Alex Jones say something?
No.
So what are you talking about?
I don't know. Niggas on The View. Not niggas on The View, not them women. But The View is they're realizing that nigga their viewpoint.
Did you just throw his name in there?
No, nigga, that's what they said.
That makes no sense.
You're just talking about the internet.
That's what I'm saying.
The internet wants to see Alex Jones.
That's not what. No, I'm saying, niggas. There's been conversations.
Steven.
I don't know.
Do you listen to Alex Jones? Have you listened to him?
Not recently.
This absolutely.
You said not recently. You don't need to listen recently. Have you ever?
Yeah.
There's no way anything that he talks about, his messaging, will align or compute with anything that's supposed to be on mainstream media.
That is what the point is.
It literally, it doesn't even make sense in imagination.
They're trying to. I didn't think it was going to happen, but they're trying to move The View more towards the middle and get rid of some of their hosts because they see that nigga, their shit is tanking.
Well, the problem with The View, and I don't watch it, so this is all speculation.
Everything is a problem with The View. There's nothing but women on there.
Well, the problem with The View is it seems like they all just agree on everything, and they're all left-leaning.
I think when they hire someone who pushed back on them, they end up getting fired or they're getting pushed off or something. Because I believe
they did, but it wasn't as they wanted. She ended up becoming more leaning left because she just started kind of agreeing with them. And they wanted discord. They wanted them not to necessarily agree. The show just needs to go away.
It's a horrible show.
It's a horrible show.
It's like The Simpsons. Nobody's watching it, but they're still on the air. What?
Niggas don't watch Simpsons?
Do you?
I've never watched The Simpsons.
Do you know anybody who does?
I don't have that conversation.
In your friend group.
You mean like who sits down on Sunday nights for a new episode of The Simpsons?
Who do you know
personally? I don't know. I've never known anyone.
Does anybody text you and be like, "Yo, I just saw that episode of The Simpsons. It was funny."
No.
Mel?
But I never have.
That's the point. Nobody watches it.
It's like there for like.
Well, the only reason that
legacy
we didn't watch it is
purposes.
because we weren't allowed to.
No, Stephen, we would have stopped watching. We can watch it now. We don't watch it.
I don't even know what.
It's like South Park, right? But we did watch South Park.
Niggas
we
are
all
clearly
made fun.
watching it. It's on TV.
We watch Cartman, the PC principal,
Kenny.
Kenny. We know all the characters. We can all talk about that. Nobody watches The Simpsons.
Is the
bro.
chef still on South Park?
I don't see why he wouldn't be.
No, because there was some controversy, right? So,
No, I know Isaac Hayes. He used to do the voice of the show,
Oh.
and he died.
okay, yeah, I don't know. Golly, man,
we'll
where's
talk about this shit
so?
next time.
What I was trying to say is, everybody wants Alex Jones as press secretary, and when we talk about the things that Trump is doing,
Press secretary.
bro,
He'll be like that girl, the black chick.
Kareem
Yes.
Jean-Pierre.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Him as
Yes.
what?
Jesus.
yes, yes. Could you believe? Could you?
Press sec. He wants to do that?
I couldn't imagine that.
He's already confirmed that he wants to do it.
Oh, so it's not something that Trump has asked him to do.
No.
Is Trump even...
Let me tell you, America, we're doomed.
The internet wants it. Donald Trump Jr. wants it. And
Oh, for
Alex
real?
Jones wants it. Yeah. But Donald Trump Jr. is like, just for like a month. You know what I'm saying?
He got to go through a trial period.
I don't think that
'Cause
that's...
him
I
as
don't
a-
think... Listen,
Trump's not going to blow up his...
After a first couple of months, Trump needs things normal.
Yeah,
Alex
he's not
Jones
gonna-
isn't going to be normal.
No, he never will be.
You really do want someone in that position who is going to be your voice. And Alex Jones would put in way too much extra.
Well, what you actually...
Trump is already fucking extra.
What you actually want is Candace Owens.
Nigga, yes.
That's who
yes.
you actually want.
Owens would be so
Could you
perfect.
imagine?
Bro, life couldn't get any better.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine? Number one, she's on the inside. Because press secretary has a lot
Man,
of
I
information.
absolutely love
Nigga,
Candace,
they're almost
man.
like that's like the chief of staff, but just doesn't have the same power.
It's
nigga.
Trump's-
They're in the
They're-
ear.
they're
They're
right
right
there.
here because they have to go out and tell the people his mindset, what his feelings are. That's your mouth when you're not there, nigga. That would
Candace would be perfect.
She's literally perfect.
Y'all seen her PBD?
Candace?
That outfit she had. It was
The
so,
red one?
The
so,
terrible.
So I liked it because
Do you mean
With
for
the blocky shoulders?
her stomach looked weird?
well, maybe because she was pregnant,
Well, no, she wasn't pregnant, but I think maybe she's still losing some of the pregnancy weight.
possibly.
Wait,
But I
when
liked it.
are we
You're talking about on the election night.
the election night?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it? I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't like the dress.
Okay. Well,
I thought
I-
it wasn't flattering.
I
It's
like
not
flattering.
I like
yeah.
that she's so regal. Like when how she presents herself.
Yeah.
And that's why she wore it.
I just thought
It's not. It's the shoulders. It was
I
the
don't.
shoulder
Well,
pads.
it was. For me, it was the stomach.
The other girl wore a red dress, and it was almost like it was. You know, I know what you're talking about, right? It's like the little red dress type thing, but it just wasn't flattering.
I like the dress. I just didn't think it was flattering for her for at that moment. But yes, I mean, I still liked it, and she looked fantastic. And I would love.
Man.
And then they have a black woman
Bruh.
as the press secretary.
Well, that's the black woman.
Nah, I know, but I'm just saying they try to be inclusive. And
I don't think
diverse.
Candace would ever do that.
She would not do it.
I really wish
She would not do it.
You don't. Why? Do you
because
think that if
we're not the only ones who bring it to, and if you watch, I mean, I'm sure you watch her show. Like she always gets those questions from the audience. They ask her about being involved, and she says the only way that she'll run in any type of capacity is with this other
the dude.
white dude, some white guy.
Yeah, but that's running. That don't mean that's. But she fucks with Trump. She loves. Vivek
she
too.
loves Trump.
She loves Vivek too.
The whole cabinet would get along. The problem is she's a mother of 3. And she takes her family life very seriously.
You're right. That makes sense.
She works from home. I'm pretty sure she has a home studio.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, that's the reason why. If her children were older or had she not gotten married,
early. Yeah,
Yeah,
she ain't got married.
in
y'all
a different
believe?
universe, Candace Owens is Storm
Damn,
on the
that
X-Men.
would be great.
If only, but we'll see what happens. But make sure y'all tune in, lock in with us. We appreciate y'all rocking out with us. The Application Knowledge Podcast. Chris James, Stephen Michael. I am Animated Mel, and we will see you beautiful people sometime in the near future. Bye bye.